Drake is quite famous in Canada. You're quite famous in Canada. Who's bigger between you and Drake in Canada?
For music, he is. For boxing, I am.
But generally, what do you think? You could edge him?
In boxing, no.
I see what you did there, Chad. Drake, beware, man, got bars as well.
Well, Supersport Unplugged is so honored to welcome one of the greatest athletes ever, especially when it comes to the sweet science. Undisputed heavyweight champion, that is Mr. Lennox Lewis.
Thank you.
The Lion, welcome back to South Africa.
Yeah, it's a place where I've boxed. I like coming back, and I'll be back some more.
It's also a place where there's a lot of synergies between South Africa and your life story as well. First of all, we've got so many different cultures here. You were born in London to parents of Jamaican descent.
Yes.
You later moved to Canada. Can you tell us how those different cultures and living in these different areas influenced and made you the person you are today?
Yeah, I think it was a good influence, even going to Canada for the first time, experiencing snow. I never seen snow before. So first thing when I got off the plane, I picked up the snow off the ground, and it's like, yo, it was amazing to me. I was wondering what's so white and fluffy, and they also have snow that when it hits the ground, it disappears. So even going to school, even the languages, even the accents were different. You know, I used to get in fights all the time going into school because they used to bother me about my accent. I used to go, all right, mate, used to talk like that. And they said, you know, it's not tomato, it's tomato. So I used to say it's tomato because I came from East London, in London. So, you know, they were correcting me all the time. So it was an experience.
It certainly was. And just continuing with life in Kitchener, Ontario, you excelled in different sporting codes as well. Tell us about that.
Yes. When I left England, there was only one sport. There was only soccer. So when I went to Canada, there was different sports. You know, I went into cricket. I went into American football. I played soccer over there too. I played every sport over there. I was good at every sport. And I enjoyed that type of action, running around, kicking, catching the ball, playing tennis. All these different sports really helped me. That's where I started my boxing career. And the reason I started my boxing career over there, because it was an individual sport. It really depended on yourself. I didn't have to worry about my teammates or, you know, my teammates dropping the ball and then everybody losing. It all depended on me. So that's why I loved boxing.
That's why it stood out, yeah.
Yes.
You had the experience of 2 Olympic Games. There was something about the disappointment in 1984, not winning the gold, that led you to come back even stronger and excel when it came to 1988. And remembering that in 1984, when you did lose, you were 18 years old.
Yeah, I was young going to the Olympics at that time. And I remember only having one heavy bag to work with. Didn't really have any sparring partners. Didn't really have too much international experience. And I was up against Tyrell Biggs, and he had all the international experience. The American team was traveling all over the place. They had 2 teams actually, so they had a lot of money into their amateur boxing. So when I was in there against him, you know, I said, oh, I'm at the Olympics. When you're at the Olympics, you have to, you know, I want to win a gold so bad. And in order for me to win the gold, I have to beat the #1 guy, and that was Tyrell Biggs. So I went after him in the first round, trying to get him. But he was a good, slick boxer at that time, and he had a lot more experience than me. But I always thought about that Olympics and remembered that Olympics, especially when I went into pros, because I said, I'm gonna get him back in pros. I'm gonna learn everything I need to learn in boxing so I'm good enough to win the next Olympics.
Once you did turn professional, did you have this feeling that there was anything that could stop you?
Yeah, well, for me, it was emptying my cup as an amateur boxer. Now I have to relearn as a professional. Longer rounds, and in professional boxing, it's more breaking down your opponent, and it's not pushing everything into 3 rounds. So that really helped me.
Well, another similarity with South Africa is that we're celebrating 30 years of democracy. You're celebrating 30 years of a friendship, a partnership with your manager, Adrian Ogan.
Yeah, Adrian's been there from the beginning, managing me, and it was really instrumental in a lot of my fights, especially the Tyson fight.
when you look back on your sterling career, there's those fights that really, really stood out. And there's a feeling that those are the fights that defined who you were. Let's first of all talk about your losses.
Yes.
And we'll start off with the unexpected one, 94, Oliver McCall, where you said, now I will see who really are my loyal supporters. Explain that.
Well, you know, when it comes to, everybody loves a winner. So I was winning back then, and you know, when you lose, people all of a sudden say, oh, well, what you gonna do now? For me, the journey wasn't finished. You know, if I lost, it's like falling off a horse. When you fall off a horse, what do? Not get back on the horse? Or you just walk away and say, no, I'm not gonna jump back on the horse. For me, yeah, I gotta jump back on the horse because it was only a mistake I made. I put up my hand, and he hit me around here, and everything went slow motion until I hit the ground, and I woke back up again. So it was a situation that I just made one vital mistake, and one vital mistake, you know, can affect history like it did. And I said to myself, you know what, I'm gonna train even harder. Right now my titles are on hold. I'm just lending them out. I'm coming back for them. So I trained harder, came back, and I won. And then, you know, some of my people that were around me, they kind of walked away. They thought that was it. They didn't believe in, you know, that was a mistake and I can come back again.
Wow, wow. That hard road back, it was like the road back to redemption, as it were. It really tested your resolve. I mean, you fought heavyweight dangers that no one else wanted to fight.
Well, you have to. You know, I wanted to prove my point. I wanted to prove my point that I'm going to be the best. I'm going to be undisputed heavyweight champion, and I'm still on that track to get there.
Would you say that Ray Mercer, that was your toughest fight?
Ray Mercer was a great fight for me. They put me in a ring like this, a small ring, and he would throw some punches and then hold me. I'm like, ah. All right. Then my trainer said, all right, every time he throws punches, try and answer back and don't let him hold you. So, you know, he threw some punches, he tried to hold me, I pushed him back and threw my combinations, and then I started again. And I think the judges like that type of thing.
Wow. Of all of the rivals and the rivalries that you had over time, I think your rivalry with Evander Holyfield, that was really, really special. Lewis Holyfield won. That's another defining moment in US boxing history in particular, and it enamored you to the American fight fans.
Yes. I think the American fight fans, you know, love to see Evander Holyfield. He was a great boxer at the time. But I said, Evander Holyfield, never seen a boxer like me. So when we got into the fight and we fought, I don't think the public could believe that I could beat him like that. And even the judges didn't believe it. So I won it, and they didn't give it to me. They said it was a draw. So,
and explain that draw. Explain the reasoning.
The reasoning was because there was a judge that got paid off to give it to Evander Holyfield. So we don't know who paid them off, but we think it was the promoter.
But also there was talk of you being so big that they couldn't see your punches landing properly.
They were making, that was, they can make any excuse, and that's the excuse they made. But you know, I was happy because the public is really the judge, and they got to judge the fight for themselves, who is the best. So a lot of them said, yeah, I won the fight. So I was glad that, you know, everybody will know that I was the #1 boxer at that time. And then they didn't believe it, so they wanted it again. I can do it again.
Yeah.
I did it again. You know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So I boxed the same way. He came in a little bit more anxious to win the second fight, but, you know, the judges were really not watching.
Wow, wow. 2001, touchdown essay to take on Hasim Rahman in the start of a very special relationship with the great Nelson Mandela.
Yeah, although I lost that fight, you know, Mandela came to the fight and he said to me, you need to keep your right hand up higher, but don't worry, you'll get him next time. And I'm like, he said, don't worry. And when he said, don't worry, it kind of like let the stress off of me. And I'm thinking, this man believes in me. So next time I'm gonna, you know, call out his name and beat Hasim Rahman.
And is it true that subsequent to that, Madiba would always call you. You kept in constant communication with him.
Let me tell you, I did not realize how much this man loved boxing. And we would talk about boxing all the time. All he wanted to know is, you know, he's asking questions, and you could tell he was excited about the boxing.
Were it not for that Rahman fight and you working in tandem with Iron Mike, one of the most anticipated fights in boxing history would not have taken place.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm actually glad that fight took place in history, because everybody was always saying, oh, Mike's the best, Holyfield's the best, Lewis is the best. I wanted everybody to know who the best was. So it was important before I retire, box Mike Tyson.
Mm-hmm. Tell us about working on putting that fight together, yourself as well as Mike Tyson, and working with the television networks as well, which is, it was historic, because that became a blueprint where you're seeing these big television networks having to work together, and yourself as well as Mike were very instrumental to get that deal going.
They were, me and Mike and Adrian actually came to an agreement and said that, you know, let's do it ourselves. Yeah. And when they heard that we were going to do it ourselves, I think Shelley Finkel told the TV company that, hey, they're going to do it themselves. And then the TV company said, okay, well, let's get together and let's do it properly. And then the fight became.
Unbelievable. It is said that greats levitate towards each other. I think one example of that is when it comes to your relationship with Muhammad Ali, the admiration and the friendship as well between the two of you. There's a lot of work that you actually did, and one of the most important ones is the work that you did with Muhammad Ali as well as Senator McCain to make sure that you had the Muhammad Ali boxing reform bill. Tell us about that.
Yeah, the reform bill was something we were working on. It's so that a manager can't be a manager and a promoter at the same time. So we thought that was unfair to the boxer, and we wanted to make a change, and you know, we pushed towards that to happen, and it happened, and that launched my promotional agreement. Lion's Lair was brought out of that. Lion Promotion was made, so I was promoting my own fights. Wow. Instead of having other people promote my fights, and Oscar started that as well for himself, and I think the Klitschko started it as well.
Finally, when you look at your career, I mean, you are in a list of elite boxers in terms of what it is that you achieved. Yourself, Ali, Holyfield, heavyweight championships 3 times. Is this one of those great personal achievements that you continue to celebrate?
Yes, it is. It's a great achievement to become 3-time heavyweight champion. And you know, a lot of people can't really make it. They don't really know how hard it is to become 3-time champions until they try it. And when they try it, they fail.
Unbelievable. Okay, I am going to tap out.
Okay.
And I'm going to bring another contender into the ring to talk about life after the professional career. Themba, standing by.
All right.
Thank you very much, Queen. Champ have arrived.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, I'm a bit late. Thank you very much, brother. Nice to see you. Thank you very much, Queen of Broadcasting, King of the Ring.
Yes.
Next to the Prince, the most electrifying man in sports entertainment. Quick intro, it took me 2 months to write this intro.
Really?
Because I already knew I was going to see you.
Okay.
Got to manifest it. Here's a man who once told Mike Tyson to change his dietary requirements. Go vegan, don't eat my children.
Right.
He once told him. You told Riddick Bowe, Mama said knock you out, then you knocked him out.
Yes.
You're an impressive man.
Yes.
I know you have a Order of the Canadian Order award back in 1998, 1988. Drake is quite famous in Canada. You're quite famous in Canada. Who's bigger between you and Drake in Canada?
For music, he is. For boxing, I am.
But generally, what do you think? You could edge him?
In boxing, no.
I see what you did there, Chad. Nonetheless, I was sitting outside the ring and listening to some of the big conversations you were having in Carol, in-depth conversations, and I was studying you like a pretender to the crown, so to speak. And I see your fits. Firstly, that caught my attention. You got the Jordans out.
Yeah, I thought it was my big feet.
And that is all your big hands as well, champ. So I wanted to know, style-wise, who influences that? Because I'll tell you a little birdie. My household, my 2-year-old daughter helps dress me. I pay in sweets and cartons of juice. Who dresses you?
My daughter.
My
oldest daughter.
I knew that was
and I'm letting you tell. If there's a spot on me, she says, change that.
Change that. You don't wear that.
Yeah, or Change those pants.
I like that.
I listen to her.
There's only one boss in the household, and it's not us. The champ, there's a great sporting quote Jamie Carragher once hit, and he said, leave football before football leaves you. Now, when it comes to the boxing, sweet science, I mean, you left at the height of your game. What does life after boxing look like for a pro athlete like yourself?
It's all about family. I actually waited till after I start my boxing career to have my family, so I could spend time with my family. Because I looked at other athletes like Muhammad Ali, and I realized his daughter went into boxing because the father wasn't around. So I wanted to be around for my kids and make sure that that was a special part of their growing up, and make sure I'm there for that.
Lennox Lewis, the boxer, we know quite a bit of. Lennox Lewis, the father and the family guy.
Yes.
What is he like?
He's
you threatening people in the house, Lennox?
No, I'm quite loving.
I like that.
Yes, I'm loving. You know, when my kids were growing up, I wanted them to all be in the bed with me and sleep with me, all sleep together.
That's sweet.
And my wife wanted them to go to their own room. She wanted me in the bed by myself with her. So.
What I find interesting with that, here's a man that can knock you out in 9 seconds, but also gets knocked out by daddy, little girl. You know,
Yes,
in the family.
yes.
That's the ultimate knockout. Lennox, you have the rare feat of being an apprentice and a contender. You know I'm going with this one.
Yes,
Donald
yes,
Trump,
yes.
he just got crowned yet again, American president. How did that feel being on The Apprentice and changing up almost a different industry?
It felt good. I mean, you know, it was crazy because, you know, I left and I was walking on the street and I seen this little girl pointing at me, and I'm like, why is she pointing at me? And then she came and said if she could have my autograph.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, oh, it's because of my boxing career. No, it was because I was on The Apprentice.
You're an apprentice.
So you get a different audience from boxing when you're on different shows like The Apprentice.
Nice, I like that. And then in terms of being on different shows and showing different sides of yourself, you've also been an actor as well.
Yes.
One of the few people in the world to actually be in 2 movies and play himself.
Yeah.
How did that feel? Ocean's
That
11
felt,
and Ali?
yeah, that felt good. That felt good.
Did they give you lines or you like, I'll just be Lennox, mate?
Just
They-
Lennox.
they said
Just
that.
Lennox. Yeah, just Lennox. They gave me a couple lines, but they never showed it in the movie.
Look, one day we'll speak with those guys. Now, if you were to right the wrongs of that particular situation and you cast your own movie, what would be the name and who would be the guy to play this guy?
I would play the greatest role ever. You know what that role is?
What would be?
Myself.
Ooh,
Ooh, that's
like
big,
that.
right?
That's big. That's big. Drake, beware, man, got bars as well. And I know you're a big sports fan. Outside of the boxing ring, there's many layers to it. I know you're into football, American football as well. You're a running back.
Yes.
Quite fast, pushing people out the way.
Yeah.
You're big in basketball as well.
Yes.
In terms of football, who do you support? Please don't say Liverpool.
No, not Liverpool. I'm West Ham for life.
You're a West Ham fan?
Yeah, because, you know, I lived in the area and I know the people and speak the slang.
I think you and Carlton Cole could have done a nice little duet up top.
Yeah, you reckon?
I reckon as well.
Okay.
He scores when he wants. But you watch a bit of South African football as well when you have time beside?
No, but it's exciting. I do see it on TV.
Don't worry, I'm going to take you to one of the Soweto derbies. We're going to eat inyama and togo. You know what that is?
No,
It's
but...
cow head.
Really?
Yeah, it tastes spicy.
Okay.
I like that.
I'll taste it.
But look here. Champ, and we also have something in common that you may not know. I know I'm a bit smaller than you, maybe slightly out of shape, but we're both from East London.
Oh.
East London from here, South Africa, you
Yeah.
down that side.
And the first place when I came to South Africa was East London.
Was East London?
Yeah.
It was all written in the stars, Champ.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, interestingly. And then boxing has changed a lot over the course of many years, and you were part of the Mike Tyson fight in terms of as a spectator. What do you make of these celebrity fights? Are you going to be knocking out any YouTubers anytime soon?
Maybe. Yeah, if the money's right.
The money's right.
Yeah, if the
you heard
money's-
it here first on
Yeah.
Unplugged, guys.
Yeah.
Who would you take out?
Whoever. Whoever the public wants me to take out.
Ooh, I like that, champ.
Yeah.
Now, I know you're a big fan of reggae, man. It's a big ting. You listen to a lot of Bob Marley as well.
Yes, I do.
What's on Lennox Lewis playlist? You got some on my piano. You know who Kabza the Small is?
Yeah, Vibes Cartel.
Vibes Cartel, I'm a big fan of Vibes Cartel.
Popcorn, Ninja Man. There's so many that I'm sorry if I don't name them all, but there's so many. I'm a big reggae fan.
Don't worry, I'm gonna introduce
And
you to a bit
dancehall.
I'm up here, and if you're dancing, man, you're gonna like some. We'll practice those moves.
Is that a new dance?
Yeah, that's one of the old ones. But I'm a bit older, so I'm still stuck in the past. Now.
Oh, okay.
So we're gonna work it out together.
I hope I can do it because with my feet.
Champ, anything is possible. You've knocked out many men and conquered many mountains.
Yes,
so
yes,
dancing is the last thing on your hit list. Champ, in terms of achievements, you've done much. How about the world in itself? You've crisscrossed the length and breadth of the world. You've picked up many cultures. Any languages you speak outside of the obvious?
Yeah, I wish. Yeah, just slangs.
I'm gonna teach you Xhosa.
Please.
Iti Jonga man. Jonga man.
Jonga man.
We're almost there, don't worry. We're gonna continue with this one. And then in terms of just giving back to boxing itself, I mean, it's a sport that's given so much to you.
Yes.
What would Lennox Lewis' legacy be when we look back?
I've started Lennox Lewis League of Champions.
Love that.
Please follow me.org, and they just giving back to the kids.
Yeah.
Kids are the future, so kids are special. So it's important to give back to them, and that's what I do with my camps.
Champ, I think you're special, and the kids are gonna reap the benefits of it. An absolute pleasure.
Thank you.
From a would-be pretender to the real champion. That's Unplugged. Lennox Lewis style. We're out of here.